What is going on, people? We are in the garage today because, as you saw from the last ride or a couple rides ago, my handlebars decided to drop a little bit when I was riding, and that is never a good thing. So let me show y'all what I meant if you couldn't see it in the video or I didn't highlight it. This is what I'm talking about. When I pull back, the handlebars drop. Push forward, they go back up. That should not be happening. So we're gonna try and fix that today. Hopefully it gets a little tighter. I don't know. We'll see how it does or what's loose. Go through it all. So let's get into it. First things first, we gotta get this cover off. I'm just using a little tiny flathead. Make it 10 times easier. Just gotta come in here and just pop it that way. Pop it this way. And then that should just pop right off right there. And then when you're done, it just snaps right back in. So I'm just gonna re-pop this off since I just had it off. Just remember, lock, unlock, you know, all that simple stuff. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Now you got these two bolts here. I'd give this like a 2 out of 10. It's really just unscrewing stuff and then just tightening stuff down once you're done. Just remember where all the bolts go. That's the main hard part for most people who don't actually do this type of stuff. So you got the 2 bolts off. This should make this loose right here. But of course they don't make it easy. And you can't remove this without removing that. So that's a problem. That's the next part. So now at the front of the bike, we got the headlight assembly right here. We're just gonna take off this screw to get this outer shell off. And then we're gonna make our way to the innards. These are not on hard, but you also just don't want to strip these because that could be very annoying right there. So we got this little thing off right there. I'll just set that off to the side. Yeah, that just pops off. Oh, I see. That little interior thing right there that horseshoes it on. We'll probably hook it right to about there. And that'll get that thing back on there, like that. Okay. This is my first time taking this thing apart, as you can tell, so don't hate on me. Like I said at the beginning of these whole vlogs, I don't know too much, but I know I do basic stuff, and I'm gonna figure it out. So now on to the next step. So now we're just gonna go around and just hit all these black. To me, they're all black, 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 black. Down here, and black right there. And that should take off this entire assembly. So I'll probably just speed through this because this is going to take me a little bit of time. I could just go grab the gun, but these are very small screws. They're not anything aggressive, so I figured I'd just do it real quick. Probably just time lapse this real quick for y'all. And last up, of course, just hold the light so it doesn't just drop on your fender, because that would not be good. So that is it. All of those are out. This thing is just gonna come right out. There you go, there's your headlight. So now, it should just be one of these little clamp things that I always seem to break, sadly enough. But on this one, should be good. And that's that. There's your headlight. Pretty obvious again. Goes in just like that. So when you put it up, that little notch right there goes right in, and should fit right in there somehow like that. Now we just put the headlight down, and let's move on to the harder steps, or what appear to be the harder steps, or what everybody says online is the harder steps. And we're gonna find out today if they actually are. Now let me see if I can show you all this. That crappy little bolt right there, that just twists off. The more annoying one is the one all the way in the back there that's gonna have to be spun off. Well, those are the two bolts we're gonna be removing. But personally, I just loosened it real quick. I think I did like 8mm or something like that. And now I'm gonna gently twist it. Just using fingers. These are small bolts, and God forbid you do not want to break this. This is that time consuming right here. So yeah, it's just a little bolt right there. And that, if I'm not mistaken, should lift off. Yep. Lifts off this whole piece right here. So this was just on this little screw. Again, you don't want to absolutely tighten the shit out of this when you go to put it back on. It should stop itself like right there, or it's going to stop itself with the middle. There's no need to jack on this. It's just for the little chrome piece, and it's got this little hook right here that goes nicely into the little slit, so no need to fucking jack up on that thing. Next you got this screw on top, but that goes all the way back there. I don't know what y'all could see there, so that was probably terrible, but it goes all the way back there to that little bolt. I gotta actually see what's going on with the tape and if I have to remove that or something, but again, that's not really something I'm gonna be able to show, I think, so I'm just gonna do it, and I'll talk to y'all about how that went afterward. So be right back. Somebody was actually smart last time they did this. Not gonna hold you. They put a tape on it so that this bolt don't move, and when you go to put this back under, it can just sit there instead of, you know, you having to hold this bolt and that. This actually holds it all in one, which is that's pretty cool. But anybody with fat sausage fingers like me, that is a tough area to get your arm into. I had a tough time. I had to move the wires a little bit, but once you get your fingers in there, you should just be able to hold it and then twist it out. And then after that, just make sure you slide it. And that is pretty much it, because now this should just pop off. Oh, now that's a f***ing surprise. I was wondering, you know, what was underneath here, because, you know, back in the, I don't know, I think it was up until 2006 or 2008, someone correct me in the comments, they had the two clamps here and here, and they never had this full metal jacket right here. I don't know if this was added on after the fact or what, but I was worried because I was like, oh, maybe that's why these bars are slipping, because maybe it's just the two clamps and it's not locking it great. So now let's see how much twist these things have once I get the bar out, because that'll be interesting. Alright, so we got the good old torque wrench going. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's definitely some play in that, which could have been the cause. Wow, this fly is really trying to get at me. God, it's like a suicide fly. Oh yeah. You just always want to be careful too. Don't go too crazy and don't pull too hard, especially when you're going towards your bike. Actually, there was quite a bit of play in these. Let me actually see right now. I'm gonna try it. Oh, that actually might have done it. I'm gonna pull y'all off real quick. I'm also gonna check the bushings for y'all, but I'm gonna get on real quick. So I'm gonna give it a real good pull. Let's see if I can do this. All right, let's see. If I give it the same exact amount of force that I gave it before. Oh yeah, that's pretty rock solid right there. Yeah. I mean, I might do like a little bit more just to lock it in even more, but I mean that's exactly how I got it day one from my mechanic. So it definitely got loose over time. I wonder why. I also put them a little bit more straight. I like that ride position straighter than a little bit down here. I personally know you're more upright. It feels better. Let's see. Yeah, that's a perfect ride angle right there. I don't know if y'all can see. I might just have been showing y'all my arms, but think about it. So like right here, right to your shoulders, that's pretty decent. Yeah, and there's no play in that. But we're gonna just do it a little bit more just to make 100% sure. Yeah, maybe I just need to do it every couple hundred miles or every like halfway through riding season to make sure that they're tight and it's not gonna give me any play. Yeah, that is decent. So again, maybe it just loosened up over time with how much riding I did and trailering it, or you know, anything it could have been. I mean, hard downshifting when you're pushing on it, me pulling it out of the trailer, which now I've actually learned to grab the crash bar and pull it out that way, which you shouldn't have to do, but I don't want to put, these are already so high, and with me not knowing what is going on with the bushings and what was going on underneath here to know if it had a full bar or if it was just the two slips, the two clamps on either side. Like, I didn't want to risk it too much by absolutely yanking on these to get it out of the wheel chock, because I have a wheel chock in the trailer and it's a full one, so you got to drive up on, which is easy, but pulling it back off, that wheel is locked in there, so that's where it gets a little bit tougher. But I mean, right now, yeah, that feels really good. That feels real tight. So yeah, let's get back to the bushings and then let's put this all back together. Okay, right there. You see that bolt? That big bolt? That's the one you want to tighten if you want to see if your bushings are a little loose or anything. Always watch that. Oh yeah, no, mine are good. So it's definitely not, it was definitely not my bushings. It was definitely, and on this other side, it's the exact same as well. You just gotta, you know, flip the handlebars again, put them this way, right there. So those are the two sides. You could check your bushings. Me personally, my bushings seem like they're not the problem. And by the way I was tightening this, I'm pretty sure that's the problem, or let's hope that's the problem. So once that's all tightened down, now we're just going to do the inverse of what we just did to take it all apart, which is easy, but I understand most people forget. But I am in love that I have this. I don't know if my mechanic put it on or the guy before me put it on, but I am almost positive. I will hit on this so hard, and I will ask my mechanic next time I bring it in if he put this on because I put these bars on, or if this is what it came with, because I will be shocked, because I'm almost certain, please tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, this should only have straps. One here and one here, not this. So let me know if I'm wrong, or if I, you know, didn't do anything right. Let me know. I am in no way a mechanic. I just dabble in bikes and like simple stuff. I also always just check to make sure there's no chip paint. There's no cracks in the metal. Nothing that stands out to me, because that's also never a good sign. And you want to look in there too, deep in there. Make sure there's nothing that is showing signs of cracking or anything that would lead you to believe that these might break on you, or the bolts might strip, or anything like that, which mine actually does not look that bad. But we won't know until we ride it this weekend and see how it feels. If there's like a crazy vibration, that means okay, finally. Freaking hell. Killed that god fly, man. That fly was annoying the shit out of me. See if there's any noise, anything that is like a thudding, crazy vibrations going on the highway, anything like that. Hopefully not. If there is, then I probably over tightened it and I'll just need to loosen them up a little bit, or take it to my shop and I'll run it the rest of the season. I'll have my mechanic look back through it, because there is a lot more again I want to do this bike, but I'm kind of waiting for winter time. I don't want to do it all right now in the dead of riding season, because that would just be pointless. Then I'm going to be out and I can't ride for a long time, or at least for a week or two, and why would you want to take yourself out of riding season? The next thing I'm going to do is just, wipe all this down, get all this gunk off of here. It's probably never been cleaned, so get all that done and then put it all back together. Fun stuff. So now we're just doing the inverse of, what we did. So this piece, this metal piece goes right back on. Fits like a glove. You can tell by this little rivet right there, and then this should all line up. There's the 2 screw holes that we had the first time. I will say, if the smartest thing I've ever seen, and I don't know if my mechanic did that when they were putting on the high bars, but everybody should do this, is tape that little bolt next to the washer, tape it to it, and just put the screw through. Honestly, that just saves so much time and energy. It went right on. I even got this thing on in under 2 minutes. Like, this thing just screwed right on. I just did a little notch to tighten it. That one over there, that just, you screw in from the top, of course, and then you just hold that. That thing went right on, and that was so simple. If you got to hold the washer and the nut, it's going to get a little complicated, especially if you got sausage fingers. So just a simple tip. Leave that tape on or put that tape on. It'll make it 10 times easier. Just a quick FYI. I put 2 bolts in to hold it, but probably before you should have even done that, probably should have checked just to make sure. I got lucky in my case. Well, not lucky, but I didn't really mess with it too much, but that works. Always want to make sure you got your high beam. Perfect. You're out riding one day and realize you got to take your whole front assembly apart just because you made a mistake. That is never a good thing. But in this case, I am all good. So now I'm just going to throw in, what is it? I got that one. I got to throw in that one, and that one. 3 left, and I got 3 screws left. And after that, we'll move on to the next part. We're just throwing on the last screw now. Yeah, this would be the most tragic moment ever if you drop that into the back of it. So, just be careful with that last one, because that would not be fun to take apart the whole flipping thing. But again, these bolts are very easy going in, very easy going out, so you really don't need to push on them real hard or, torque on them to get them out. Really torque on them, because that's how you break stuff. And the last thing you want to do on stuff that's so simple like this is break something. But you want these snug. Nice and snug. Last one. Perfect. You know, you always give it the little pull test. I don't ever not give a pull test to something. Because God forbid you're riding at, you know, 60. Yeah, that's not going to do anything if I give it a little pull test, but, you know, 60, 70 miles per hour, yeah, and something goes wrong. That's when you're going to be wishing you did a little pull test, especially if it's something so light. Or if you're just leaving your driveway and then, God forbid, it just drops. Not saying that would happen, but you really never know, honestly. There we go. Okay. But now, we just need to line up this bottom piece. Where is this hole? I think it's right there. But let me just get this on and then I'll go to the front. Okay, with that all back on, all it was just putting that little screw in there and just making sure that lined up. I'm gonna take a washcloth and do this whole thing because this got absolutely disgusting. But now, all we have to do is put these bolts back in, tighten these up. Again, everything on here, I would give this like a 1.5 out of 10 for difficultness. This is not hard at all. Literally, I think I did this whole thing, even with videoing, in like, I want to say this is like 45, 30 minutes. And I think videoing made it a little bit longer, so I could probably have knocked this out in like 30 minutes if I wasn't. So this is just something nice and easy to do. Feeling like your handlebars are loose, just do it yourself. Don't take it to a mechanic. I don't know how much they charge anymore, but it's just not worth it. You'd rather just get it done, and then you get to get back on your bike tomorrow. If tomorrow was Saturday, I could get back on and ride right away. I don't gotta wait for it and go pick it up and deal with all that. But then this last part pops right back on, as you heard that. It's like a clamp, and that is that. Everything should be nice and tight. Beautiful. And yes, I have handprints everywhere. I'm gonna go through and clean this all down, but you guys don't need to see that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go check out my other videos of me actually riding this beast. She sounds mean, especially since if you're new here, she got the 39 fish pipes. Especially if you're new here, she got the 39-inch fishtail exhaust that screams. Go check out one of my videos to at least hear it. I don't even care what y'all do, if like, subscribe, or anything like that, but at least check it out. It's pretty cool to hear that. I like to put any type of video with loud exhaust on in the background while I'm working. So if you're like me and you like videos that just, you know, have nice sounding exhaust and you're just cruising around, talking a little bit, but mostly just listening for that bike sound, come check out most of my videos. They're all pretty much like that. Sometimes I talk more, but I really try and limit my talking so y'all can get the full experience of me actually riding this beast. And she is a beast. But yeah, catch you on the next one. Peace.